People come to this town looking for quiet nights and empty streets. They rent houses with good reviews, working locks, and security cameras meant to bring peace of mind. Over the past year, 5 different homestays in this town reported unusual recordings, different guests, different cameras. Yet, the footage shares details that are difficult to dismiss. What you are about to see is reportedly authentic security and phone footage. No injuries were reported. No clear explanation was ever agreed upon. Some guests later claimed the houses felt occupied even when no one else was present. Others insist it was nothing more than stress, fatigue, or suggestion. Tonight, we will look at 5 separate recordings from 5 different rentals, and allow you to decide what these cameras may have captured. The first recording comes from Pine Hollow Cabin, a short-term rental located near Coldwater Falls, a quiet town in northern Oregon. The cabin sits less than a mile from Lake Alderwood, surrounded by trees and unpaved access roads.
I booked Pine Hollow because it was cheap and isolated. I just wanted one night, without people around. I arrived before dark, unpacked a little, made dinner, and stayed inside the rest of the night.
Pine Hollow Cabin is equipped with a single security camera mounted above the front porch door, installed by the property owner.
I noticed the camera when I arrived, but I didn't think about it after that.
According to system logs, the porch camera at Pine Hollow Cabin detected motion at 11:42 p.m. A thin, human-shaped silhouette becomes visible near the far left edge of the porch, partially obscured by fog. The figure does not approach the door and shows no visible movement. Wind moves through the surrounding trees and across the porch, but the shape remains unaffected. The recording continues for over 12 minutes without interruption. The porch camera stops recording at 11:54 p.m. No further motion is logged that night.
I was already asleep by then. I didn't hear anything outside. If someone was standing on that porch, I would have heard footsteps on the wood.
The guest later suggested the footage was likely fog, shadow, or a camera malfunction. The guest checked out of Pine Hollow Cabin early the next morning without requesting a refund. What remains disputed is not why the guest left Coldwater Falls early, but what the porch camera recorded while no one was watching. The second recording was captured inside Redfield Farmhouse on County Route 6, just outside Coldwater Falls, Oregon, where the fields go dark fast and the house sits far from any traffic.
We rented it for a weekend break. We wanted privacy somewhere we could just stay in and not run into anyone. The first few hours were normal. We cooked, talked, and kept the TV low because the place felt overly quiet.
Redfield Farmhouse had indoor cameras installed by the host, including one pointed straight down the main hallway to the bedrooms.
I noticed the hallway camera and joked about it. Then we forgot it existed.
According to the timeline, the couple went to bed shortly after midnight, leaving the hallway dark and still. At 2:14 a.m., the hallway camera activates, even though nothing enters the frame. The audio captures a faint soft brief, often described as a restrained laugh or a breath too close to the microphone. No figure appears. No doors move. The hallway remains visually unchanged from start to end. The sound repeats once, slightly longer, then stops, leaving the recording to end on silence.
We didn't hear anything. If it happened while we were asleep.
The couple only discovered the clip in the morning while scrubbing through the camera timeline, expecting nothing more than empty frames. Instead of looking for an explanation online, they contacted the host and asked a simple question. Had anything like this happened before?
The host told us the hallway camera triggers sometimes, like it was nothing.
The host then sent a screenshot of the house rules, pointing to a line that advised guests to keep bedroom doors closed at night.
That line felt strange, not because it's bad advice, but because it sounded practiced.
The couple later mentioned the incident to a neighbor while returning the key lockbox and received an unexpected response.
He didn't ask what we heard. He asked what time it was.
The neighbor reportedly nodded when they said 2:14 a.m., as if the number meant something he didn't want to explain. By the time they left Coldwater Falls, the couple had two versions of the same night. One where nothing happened, and one where the house responded as if it had. The third recording comes from Maple Row Guesthouse, a small rental located on a residential street just 2 blocks from Coldwater Falls Medical Clinic. Maple Row is often booked by travelers passing through town for overnight work or early morning appointments.
I booked it because I had an early appointment. I needed somewhere close and quiet. I didn't explore much. I showered, set an alarm, and went to bed early.
Maple Row Guesthouse is equipped with a fixed night vision camera mounted in the corner of the bedroom, installed by the property owner.
I noticed the camera, but I assumed it was inactive once the lights were off.
According to the footage, the guest fell asleep shortly after 11:30 p.m. For nearly 2 hours, the room remains unchanged. No visible movement. At 1:47 a.m., the camera adjusts exposure, briefly brightening the room. A pale, human-like shape becomes visible, standing near the foot of the bed, partially outside the camera's central view. The shape remains upright and motionless, facing the sleeping guest. The guest's body responds. Heart rate increases. Breathing becomes shallow. The guest does not wake. Their eyes remain closed throughout the recording. After 48 seconds, the shape fades from view as the exposure normalizes.
I don't remember dreaming. I don't remember waking up. I just felt exhausted in the morning.
The guest later reviewed the footage, only because the sleep data on their phone showed an unexplained spike in heart rate.
I've never had night terrors, and I don't sleepwalk.
The guest attended their appointment at the medical clinic and left Coldwater Falls later that morning. They did not return to Maple Row Guesthouse. No complaint was filed. What remains disturbing is not what appeared in the room, but how the body reacted to something the mind never remembers seeing. The fourth case comes from Juniper Key Townhouse, a short-term rental located on Juniper Key Lane, just 3 blocks from the center of Coldwater Falls, Oregon. Juniper Key Townhouse is typically rented by overnight travelers passing through town rather than long-term guests.
I was just passing through. I needed a place to sleep before driving again in the morning. I came in, dropped my bag, locked the door, and didn't really think about the space after that.
Juniper Key Townhouse is equipped with 2 indoor cameras installed by the host, one covering the entryway and one facing the living room.
I always leave my keys in the same place, on the table, by the door.
According to the footage, the guest places their keys on the entryway table shortly after arriving. The guest spends the next hour inside the townhouse without returning to the entryway. At 10:11 p.m., the entryway camera records a brief shift in lighting without detecting motion. When the image stabilizes, the keys are no longer on the table. No figure appears in the frame. The door does not open. The living room camera shows the guest seated throughout this time, not leaving their position.
I don't remember getting up. I didn't need my keys for anything.
The guest goes to bed shortly after midnight, leaving the entryway unoccupied. At 6:02 a.m., the guest prepares to leave and returns to the entryway. The keys are found inside the guest's locked bag, placed in an interior pocket.
I hadn't opened that pocket since I arrived. I'm sure of that.
The guest reviews the camera footage before leaving Juniper Key Townhouse. The footage does not show the keys being moved at any point. The guest checked out on time and did not report the incident to the host. What remains unexplained is not where the keys ended up, but how they returned to a place the camera never saw them leave for. The final recording was captured on a dashcam as a guest prepared to leave Coldwater Falls, Oregon, shortly before sunrise. The guest had spent one night in town and did not report any issues during their stay.
I was just passing through. I wanted to get on the road early and avoid traffic.
The dashcam activates automatically as the vehicle starts moving. The route out of town follows State Route 14, a narrow stretch that runs through fog-heavy lowlands.
I remember checking the mirrors before pulling out. There was no one else in the car.
At a stop sign near the edge of town, the dashcam records a brief interior reflection. A faint, human-shaped outline appears seated in the rear passenger side seat. The vehicle remains stopped for several seconds longer than necessary. The outline does not move. It does not react to the car's motion. The driver does not look back. No visible reaction is recorded. The vehicle accelerates onto State Route 14 and continues out of town. Several miles later, the dashcam records another interior reflection as fog thickens. The rear seat now appears empty.
I never saw anyone. I didn't feel anything unusual while driving.
The dashcam file ends abruptly, less than a minute later, without manual input. The guest reached their destination later that morning without incident. The dashcam footage was reviewed days later while clearing storage space.
I don't remember stopping that long at the sign.
The timestamp confirms the pause lasted 11 seconds longer than average for that intersection. The guest has since driven through similar routes without recording anything unusual. What remains unresolved is not what appeared in the back seat, but why it vanished only after the car left Coldwater Falls. 5 different rentals, 5 different cameras, and 5 people who all came to Coldwater Falls for ordinary, forgettable reasons. None of them reported seeing anything unusual at the time. No panic, no sense of immediate danger. In every case, the footage was only reviewed later after checkout, after sleep, after leaving town. Some recordings show figures, others capture sounds, and some document the absence of objects that should have remained exactly where they were placed. There is no single explanation that accounts for all of it. No shared witness, no confirmed cause. The guests did not know each other. The houses were miles apart. Yet the cameras behaved as if they were responding to the same condition. In Coldwater Falls, cameras seem to notice moments people don't, movements the body reacts to without waking, presences the mind never records. Some believe these recordings are nothing more than coincidence, stress, or technical error. Others believe the town remembers who passes through and notices when they leave. What matters is not what these cameras captured, but why they only seem to do so when no one is watching.